Virgo, welcome to your weekly Sidereal Astrology forecast. This is for February 29th through the 6th of March of 2016. I'm Athen, and this is for Sidereal. If you are new to the channel, be sure to click the link for more information because the signs are different. All right, Virgo, so this weekend of this week, we've got a very important aspect, the South Node conjoining up to Chiron, which is essentially about healing old energies. So there's been a lot of healing energy already, but that's been more about the future life path. And although this one is specifically about the life path, it's about healing the old to make way for the new, because the South Node is the path behind us. It's what's behind us, and then this new shift and new direction is the North Node. So let's go and look at this for your chart particularly. You've got this new life path shifting into your 12th house. This, it's been happening this early part of the year, which is this new life path for you to connect to your spiritual side, to get that alone time, that spirituality, to have more peace and harmony and presence in your life. So that's going to be the major theme. Now to do that, it's always about coming to balance with the South Node. And lately you've had the South Node transiting that 7th house of relationships for you. So with this, there's been this needing to have balance in terms of your perspective on relationships, any over under extremes with that, unhealthy patterns, old belief systems that we know are unhealthy. But it's not so much about the conscious awareness of it with the South Node as much as it's just intuitively listening to it and really just allowing any unhealthy patterning to just kind of be released because it just wants to, and it's about allowing it to be so. But if you do want to get sort of more understanding about this, Chiron is a very intellectual sort of asteroid, so it does allow you to see things in a more practical way so that you can do the healing and the releasing in that sense. But all in all, it's not about figuring it out as much as it's about just feeling it, especially with the South Node and Pisces, intuitively feeling what about relationships and whatnot can be brought back into balance. And this is nothing new because you've had the South Node transiting the 7th house for the past 2 years. So there's already been a lot of this and it's basically being finished up because you got the South Node now going into your 6th house this year. And so finishing up anything involving your perspective on relationships and how to bring that back into harmony and balance. And all of that can be quite healing going into the weekend and into next week. So the more open we are to that, the healing just kind of happens naturally. Now let's go and look at how this is set up for the week leading into that. We do have Venus sextiling up to Saturn and Uranus during the work week. So Venus has been in your 5th house of self-expression. So you guys, I think, have been enjoying more of the maybe expressive or creative pursuits of life, maybe your inner child, playfulness, these kinds of things. So this is going to be quite nice this early part of the week, tapping into that true self. Now with Saturn's been in your 3rd house, so it's been quite serious, I think, maybe with the communication, maybe with the correspondence and these kinds of matters, but this is easier energy to work with in that regards, at least an opening for that. And Uranus has been in your 7th house, helping you create positive change in your relationships with new and existing partnerships. So that could be quite freeing, maybe something new and exciting with that. Now Venus also doubles as your 2nd and 9th house ruler. So the key with this is that with your values, those could be quite supportive, quite grounding. Maybe it's the simple pleasures, the good meal, the resources, but a lot of that can be quite exciting as well. Maybe trying something new with your values, enjoying a different meal or whatever can be quite nice. And with your 9th house, maybe something expanding your horizons, maybe some new information, some new insight. So the key with this is just to be open to new things. With the sextiles, it's all about allowing perspective to come in because it's a very intellectual understanding kind of an energy, and to change things up with relationships and to continue to ground and really work and discipline that communication and enjoy those creative, playful aspects of life. So that's going to be the work week. And then as we approach the weekend, we do have your ruler shifting into Aquarius. So this is your 6th house, and there has been already a lot of energy here. You've had the sun really shining that light, helping you see the insights about your work or your career, more of the practical day-to-day sort of career stuff, the everyday stuff, your health, your diet, your routine. And that's been an area of energy for you too. And I think there was a lot of insights about that from last week. But anyways, with your ruler here, it's really going to emphasize that shift because I think it has been more on the creative 5th house, self-expressive side. But now you're going to notice that shift midweek going into, I think, more of wanting to figure out, understand more of the practical daily stuff. And this is your house. So I think it's a familiar area for you with Mercury there. Now, as we approach the weekend, or in fact, on the weekend, we do have Mars squaring up to that that Mercury. So the key with this is to bring that extra attention to the self, right? The self-assertiveness, the self-interest, which I think have been very direct lately for those values. You know, Mars in your second house you've been either very direct to establish, to gain, or to enjoy your values in life. So that can be usually on a material level, but it's all types of values usually. So being aware of that, you know, the ego, the self, that, you know, because the square is usually some sort of imbalance or something that needs to be aware of or corrected here. And so being aware of it can help it express itself much more naturally. And that's going to be, I think, a motivation and drive that can be very healthy actually over the weekend for you to cultivate either the routine, the daily stuff, assert yourself, maybe the career stuff since Mercury rules your 10th, and understand, I think, a bit more about your values as well. Now, over the weekend, the sun does square up to Saturn also, so there's that refining energy when it comes to the daily stuff. So I think just being open to constructively working on it again, but specifically with Saturn, being patient and disciplined and mature with anything involving the perfection or the work or the daily stuff, or whatever you're doing on a daily level over the weekend. And that can be very constructive. And usually when we're open to that, open to building it, that's a great way of working with Saturn. Then as we go into Monday, the sun does sextile up to Pluto, so there is this opening for change with these daily things, or with this improvement, self-improvement, health, diet, regimens, whatever it might be for you. And that's shifting into a new beginning with that in some sense. And it could also be this continuous new beginning too, involving your home, family, or roots, which have been this transformational area. But that's a minor aspect. That's just a new shift, and that's going to be going into Monday. So the emphasis of the weekend, though, is certainly going to be this healing energy with the South Node in Chiron, which is going to be going exact at that time. So collective energy, important for all of us. I think just being open to, again, being aware of the self, over or under extremes, specifically with relationships, maybe even with that routine stuff, since the South Node is shifting into that 6th. And that'll help you have that more balanced understanding and balanced approach to move into this life path that much more healthfully. Because the South Node is all about spiritual liberation. And when you have acceptance, when you allow those energies to go, it's very liberating, and that establishes you to move into this life path of spirituality for the next 2 years, of tapping into your true spiritual self, right? Having that peace and harmony in your life, that tranquil life, and that connection, which of course is so important in all of our lives. All right, Virgo, so have a great one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys all next week.